where land meets water, an invitation lingers, not just between elements, but between versions of yourself. You could remain on shore, where it's safe, familiar, predictable, or you could cross into the unknown. I'm Shannon Keegan, and this is Stories from the Water, where we dive into the courage it takes to begin, the resilience that keeps us moving forward, and the wisdom that only emerges in the space between. All right, I'm back with Lorelei Schmidt, who just finished, you said 12 hours ago?
Mm-hmm.
Got out of the water in Oahu's where you finished, right? The Molokai channel?
Yeah.
Yeah. So tell us about your day yesterday. When did you start? What was it like?
So we started at 6:05 in the morning because two people earlier in the week had gotten bitten by cookie cutters. So we're like, yeah, we'll start in the morning, make sure it doesn't happen overnight, or at least get you out of the area where the cookie cutters are before dark.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that sounds like a great plan. Um, so the first like 8 or so hours, they were pretty good. Had a lot of fun just seeing um the water's so beautiful. It's so clear.
Yeah.
Apparently there were whales with me while I was swimming at the start,
Oh,
a
wow.
couple dolphins. Um, and I had a little school of fish that swam with me for about 10 to 12 hours.
Oh my
Um,
gosh.
I gave some of them names, but because they were just with me the whole time.
Yeah, that's great. So
Um,
tell me, two people, as you mentioned, had gotten bit by cookie cutter sharks before you even started. So how did you settle your mind that, I mean, yes, you're starting during the day, but you still ended up swimming into the night. Like how did that go?
well, when it was finally dark, I went over to the boat during one of my feeds, and I was like, I'm a little scared I'm gonna get bit. And the captain's like, oh no, you're fine. You're left out that you've been out of the trench area for like 4 hours. I'm like, so we're good, right? They're like, yeah, you're fine. I'm like, okay, cool. So that did a lot to settle the mind.
Yeah.
Um, Knowing that I'd head past the area where the cookie cutters are
Hmm.
before like the sun even started to set, so that helped a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, I bet. Okay. But you didn't have any, you just weren't worried about it since you weren't going to be over the trench at night. You just were like, okay, not me.
Yeah.
That's
And with the
pretty
shark shields, I
impressive.
didn't have to worry about any bigger sharks, so
Okay, so you did use
that
Shark
helped.
Shield. Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Do you know if the other two swimmers had Shark Shields? Did they work on cookie cutters or
They
not?
did. The shark shields don't work on cookie cutters.
Because they're too
Um,
fast. Is that what it is?
Too fast, and I just don't think that whatever the shark shield does that interferes with the other sharks work. Like, I don't think the cookie cutters are affected by it at all.
Interesting. Huh.
Like, they
Fascinating.
don't, whatever the shark shield sends out that keeps the bigger sharks away, the
Hmm.
cookie cutters, like, they don't sense it, I
Hmm.
think is what it is.
Interesting. Wow. Okay, so you were able to put those thoughts out of your head, but you know you're going into a long day of swimming. Is there any other kind of mental preparation or anything that you're doing? I know we were trying to connect before you even went to Hawaii, and you've had a really busy spring. So how are you able to prepare yourself for this?
Um, I just did long swims preparing for this. And I knew this was going to be probably the longest and hardest swim I've ever done and probably will ever do for at least a long time. So I'm like, I have to be ready for that. Um, but I would say it was just one stroke at a time was how I took it, even though I did go to the boat when like the sun finally started to set and I was like, I'm done with this. I want to be done. I hate everything. I hate you. I'm done with this. My mom was like, you have 10 kilometers left. You're gonna hate yourself if you stop. And I was like, only 10 kilometers? They're like, yeah, 10 kilometers. It took me like 6 hours.
Wow.
because of just how like the currents and the waves were.
Right.
And I was like, this is the longest 10 kilometers ever. I hate everything.
Yeah. Oh my
But
gosh.
my mom's like, you're gonna hate yourself even more if you get out when you're this close. And I'm like, I hate myself already. Can we just be done now? Um, they were never I always asked like how much further I have and they just stopped answering me. So I'm like,
Mhm.
am I at least making forward progress? And they're like, yes. I'm like, okay. Are you sure? Because the shoreline's not getting any closer. They're like, no, you're making forward progress. I'm like, what, a quarter mile an hour? They're like, well, that's still forward progress. I'm like, gee, thanks.
Yeah.
Um,
So it sounds like you got to some pretty dark places.
oh yeah, that last 10K was ugly. Very
Mhm.
ugly. Not so nice words were thrown around,
Yeah.
mainly from me.
Mm, yeah. But how do you feel
Um,
afterwards?
oh, pillows hurt right now
Oh,
against
man.
my shoulders. Like I'm
Mm,
laying on rocks because my muscles are just so, ugh, they're
yeah.
dead. I have sunburns all
Yeah.
across my hands,
Oh,
like really, really bad sunburns and
yeah.
jellyfish stings. I took a jellyfish right down the suit
Oh,
and it's
no.
all over my stomach. And I'm
Oh,
like, yeah, that was not fun.
no, that's not fun at all.
Hey, at night I at least enjoyed the bioluminescence, so that
Oh,
was cool.
cool. Yeah. Yeah. How did you, I don't know, were you able to think any good, happy thoughts when you're in those dark places? Or are you just fighting through
Not
the whole
really.
time?
No, I was just mentally cussing out the kayakers and the people on the boat and
Goodness.
myself and the small fish I saw underneath. I started having beef with the fish. Um, yeah. So,
Hmm.
but when I finally got to the last feed, and they never told me how many more feeds I had. I know it's the last feed when I'm given a peanut butter cup from the
Ah.
dark chocolate peanut butter cups from Trader Joe's. I got two of those, and I'm like, I told my mom, um, if I can lift my arms at the finish, you're gonna get the double middle fingers. And yeah, bitches, when I yelled across the shore. And that's what I did when I finished. I was able to stand up, lift my arms across the head, and yelled that out. Uh, I told myself that's how I was gonna finish. Um, that's how I was gonna make it through. I was gonna get that finish, and so,
So you got
which I'm
that
glad I
last
did.
feed. So what were you thinking when you get that last feed? They didn't tell you it was coming. So all of a sudden you get these peanut butter cups.
I'm like, hallelujah, we're done.
Yeah.
Um,
How much longer was it after that?
huh?
How much longer
Uh,
was it after that?
10 minutes,
Oh,
I
wow.
think.
Okay. Nice.
Um, and it felt like forever because I still felt like I wasn't going anywhere. Like I could not get my arms all the way out of the
Mm,
water. I
yeah.
was just so, so tired.
Yeah.
My arms were just dragging through the water. And then the waves are huge. So I kind of got a boost into there.
Oh,
And then I
nice.
got body slammed into the beach.
Oh, no.
'Cause
I,
they're so big that like my kayaker, he paddled into the beach with me.
hmm
His kayak flipped,
Oh,
trying to
goodness.
get into the beach and out of the beach.
Oh,
But
wow.
I swam in. The first wave hit me, slammed my chest straight into the ground, and
Oh,
the second wave slammed my head into the ground.
oh, no.
But I finally made it to shore, stood up, did what I said I was going to do, and then I like fell backwards. And I'm like, my kayaker's like, "You good?" I'm like, "Yeah, I need my ears to stop ringing, and I need my vision to stop going dark."
Yeah. Oh, man.
Um, but finally got back out of the surf, which took another couple body slams into the beach, and
Mm.
he just dragged me back to the boat because my arms did not work anymore.
Yeah.
But
Man, so since we talked last, you also did Catalina in Manhattan. Any highlights from those swims that you recall? I'm training for a 50-mile swim this year, but this isn't just about distance. Every stroke teaches me something new. about moving efficiently through the water, trust, and resilience. I want to share these lessons with you. Want to explore them together? Join me at the water's edge, my virtual community where everything changes. Hesitation meets courage, comfort meets challenge, potential becomes movement, and individual meets community. Tap the join link in the show notes.
Yes. So Catalina, um, so when we started out, the boat ended up having an electrical problem.
Oh
So
no.
we started about an hour and a half to maybe 2 hours later. I didn't start until like 11:30 at night.
Uh-huh.
Um, but it was like a pool out there, like soft swells, but they couldn't have been more than like a couple inches high. And it was just so smooth out there.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but my finish, I was escorted by hundreds of dolphins,
Oh wow.
hundreds of them. Um, it wigged me out a little bit because like they were in a feeding frenzy.
Uh-huh.
So they were going super fast and snapping jaws. I'm like, okay, these are giant mammals that are like as big or at least as big as I am with sharp teeth. And I'm surrounded by the fish they're trying to eat. I'm like, it's cool, but back it up a little bit, please. Uh, there was hundreds of them. And after I finished, it was not a graceful finish at all. I finished on rocks.
Mm.
And I
It's
got
hard.
scraped up a bit on the rocks and I could not walk. And
Mm.
so I just crawled to the finish.
Yeah.
My dad and my brother were waiting there with a bag of bacon.
Oh nice.
Signs that said swim for the bacon. Um, and my dad was instructed to not touch me
Uh-huh.
because, they
Yeah.
can't touch me until they sound the horn. And so they sounded the horn and my dad was still like, I don't know what to do. And the captain and my mom were like, oh my God, help her. Because I was just like face plant on the beach.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but and then I could see it from the shore, and once I got back on the boat, just how many dolphins there were. It was
There's
surrounded for miles, and
wow.
it was really, really cool. But peaceful. It was a full moon, lots of stars. It was beautiful out there in Catalina.
That's really cool. What was there any hard parts of that swim or is it just like clockwork or how did that go?
I bonked at 6.5 hours, and I never recovered from it. Like the last 2.5 hours was me like my pace went from like about 2.5 miles per hour to like 1.2 miles an hour.
Oh my goodness.
So I was expected to finish around 8 hours and I finished at 9 hours, which is still really
It's still
good, but
really
they're
good.
like, you just bonked so hard,
Mm,
um, that you fell a whole hour behind like what you were expected to do. I'm like, hey, I was under the double digits. I finished in the single digits time, so we're
yeah.
cool. Um,
Why do you think that you bonked? Was it just
Nutrition, I think we're still
mm,
figuring out how it worked.
mm-hmm.
Um, and since it started so late in the night, it was just like waiting that day for everything to happen.
Mm.
And my personal irrational fear is having to go poop while
Ah,
I'm swimming.
right, right.
And I was like
I'm there with you.
afraid to eat
Oh.
because I was like, I don't want to use the bathroom while I'm swimming because everybody's watching me.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, like my mom and the female kayaker, that's fine. But my old coach and the guy kayaker and the captain, I'm like, mm-mm. So like I ate breakfast and a small lunch
Mm-hmm.
and that was all. So
Mm.
I was not fully prepared on the nutrition part,
Yeah.
but whew,
Yeah.
I made it to the end.
Right. Did you
So
so then the next one after that was Manhattan?
Yes, I did
Yeah.
that one in October.
Mm-hmm. Did you have your diet and
Cold.
nutrition more dialed in by that one, do you think?
Yeah, definitely. Um, and it started in the morning, so that helped. So I had like breakfast and I carb loaded going into the swim. Um, and then I think throughout the swim, I took in more carbs earlier on.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't bonk at all during that swim, which was
Yeah.
nice. Um, I mean, it was a 6 hour and 47 minute swim.
Wow.
It
My
was
goodness,
super
that's speedy.
fast.
Yeah.
Um, my team posted and was like, she was holding 14-mile minute or oh my God, 14-minute miles.
Wow.
And my teammates were looking at me like, did you have jetpacks on? I'm like, yeah, I had a current.
Yeah, yeah.
Because when I started going inland,
Hmm.
um, we had the incoming tide. And then when I was made the circle back around, we had the outgoing tide.
Yeah.
So I was always with the current.
Oh my gosh, that's fantastic.
It was very choppy,
Oh, yeah.
especially where the rivers met, like the different rivers met, and they like
Hmm.
their currents would like cross each other. Like you had to really like all out sprint for about 2 minutes to get through it.
Wow.
Um, but it was really fun. That was like probably one of the most fun swims I had, just to see the whole city.
Right.
Like seeing it from a boat or from a plane or from the cars, it's completely different than from seeing it from the water.
Yeah.
Because all of them are just towering over you. And then swimming underneath the bridges as well was really cool. I became a tourist attraction for the day. There's people on the ferries going around, and all of a sudden there's like, I heard a kid shout, Mom, there's someone in the water. And then the whole boat, everybody on the boat was all of a sudden like taking pictures of me in the water. They're like, is this like something like everybody does? Or is she good? I'm like, yeah, we're fine, we're fine.
That's interesting, because there's people, I mean, there's so many people in New York, but there's people swimming. It seems to us as swimmers, right? We hear about people swimming around Manhattan all the time. It's just funny how not everyone knows that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, well, I mean, like water in New York is probably considered to be very dirty.
Hmm.
So like why would you swim in that? Like you're
Right.
gonna come out of that water like the Hulk or something, like bitten like with some radioactive thing in there.
Right.
The water was surprisingly clean.
Oh, was it? It's supposedly a lot cleaner than it used to be. So that's
Oh yeah.
great.
Like you'd see some things of trash floating around, but
Hmm.
it was very clear, murky, like at the
Hmm.
bottom, but very clear. Um, I like the in-water start and finish. That made life very easy because
Hmm.
otherwise I'd be climbing over a bunch of rocks on a tiny little island in the middle of the river.
Right.
Um, but I did have to stop for a ferry that was going to the Statue of
Mm.
Liberty.
Hmm.
Um, but that was fine.
Yeah.
Was a tourist attraction for those people as well. Seeing the statue from the water, like even though I was still pretty far away from it, that was really cool to be able to see it.
Yeah, that is cool. Very cool.
But
So,
chilly,
wow.
but
Go ahead.
it was a little chilly, but it was fine.
In October, it was
In
chilly.
October, the air was worse.
Oh, got it.
Water was upper 50s, low 60s in some points, but
Hmm.
mostly in the 50s.
Wow, that is pretty chilly.
The air was like 40 something and really
Wow.
windy, and I was like freezing cold on the boat. So the air was the worst part. So
Interesting. Cool. So you've knocked out all these three big swims just since winning Scar last year. My
yeah.
goodness, what do you have in store for this year?
So August I will be doing the length of Tahoe.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll be finishing my Tahoe Triple Crown.
Nice.
Um Next August I have the English Channel. And in between, somewhere I have my qualifying swim. I think it's going to be the swim around Angel Island in San
Mm.
Francisco.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Um, But other than that, I really don't think I have anything else planned. I might do swim the suck.
Hmm.
It really just depends on where that fits in my schedule for school
Yeah.
and everything, because I've been missing a lot of school for these swims lately.
Yeah. How do your classmates take your swimming
They
feats?
think I'm crazy,
Yeah.
which I mean, they're like badass points, but like, why? Why? My teachers are invested. I had several of my teachers following my swim,
Nice.
and that I just did.
Hmm.
My English teacher especially, and a few of my classmates, mainly the ones I've been friends with since like fifth grade, but
Hmm.
we're still classmates. But
What grade are you in again?
yeah. So, but yeah, the teachers, my teachers are like, that's really cool. Tell me how it goes. So,
Very cool.
makes life easy when making up schoolwork.
Wait,
I have
explain
some
that one.
sympathy points. Sympathy points. I'm like, I just swam for 19 hours, 19 and a half hours. And I'll be coming in like on Tuesday to go do chemistry and math first thing in the morning. Like, can I not? Like, please. But,
Are you able to keep your grades up?
yeah, pretty well, yeah. Um,
And you have other swimming commitments too, because you do like year-round club still?
yeah, I
Yeah.
do year round. Um, I actually have my year round coach as a part of my crew. So he's here with us. He was part of my crew in New York as well. Um, he's really invested in it too, which I really like because the coach I had before was like, "What the hell's wrong with you? No, no." It's like, why? And it was just like, you know what? Dig your own grave. It's not my problem. I'm like, gee, thanks for the support, coach.
Oh, geez, interesting. Yeah, it's
He was a
interesting.
great coach for year-round swimming. I just don't think he understood the open water, and I think he tried to and then gave up. It's just like, you know what? You do your own thing. I'm staying out of it. You're crazy. I hope you know that that's what I think of you. I'm like, you're not the only one. But
Yeah, how do you see through? I mean, how do you stick with it then amid, your classmates think you're crazy, you have a coach that thinks you're crazy. How do you stick with it? Even when you know you're talking about the hardships you go through in the middle of a swim and how you're beating yourself up, like why do you stick with it?
um, I just love being able to be in the water and not really have to worry about time or racing. Um, because that's what it always is if you're in the pool. It's like go faster, go faster, go faster. Win your race, drop time. I'm like, but you hit these plateaus, and there's these times where you're no longer winning any races and you're not dropping any time, and it gets frustrating, and then your coach gets frustrated too, but they also know like if plateaus happen, but it's everything about swimming is the time. How fast can you go? Go faster, go
Yeah,
faster, go
like
faster.
shaving off
And then the
seconds
open,
and milliseconds
yeah.
and right.
Meanwhile, in open water, I'm like, sure, I'd like to go fast, but I don't exactly have to. Like for this one, I was hoping to be under 17 hours, but right now I'm just happy I did it in under 20.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
like considering like just the fact that I just was unable to like go anywhere, I'm like I'm just happy I'm under 20. Um, I'm like I'm not joining the 24-hour club. I'm like cool club, but I'll only do that when I know it's going to be at least a 24-hour swim. This one I was like prepared to go in it to be like a 16, 17-hour swim. Ended up being a 19 and a half hour swim,
Yeah.
but I'll take it. We'll
It's
take it.
part of the I think acceptance, like as we grow and we do more of these swims, we start to realize, there's so much out of our control.
Mhm.
We're just glad to not get attacked by a cookie cutter shark and you're gonna take
Yeah.
whatever else comes after that.
Yeah. Because at this swim, I'm just like, at this stuff, all the thing I have to worry about is finishing.
Mm, yeah.
Like, I just have to worry about either touching the buoy or getting to the stopping area or climbing onto the beach, waiting for that horn to sound, and that's it. That's all I have to worry about.
Yeah.
Sure, there might be times where like your crew's like, okay, you need to pick up the pace to get out of the current, but
Mm,
not because we're working on the time, it's because we're trying to get you out of a current so you aren't like stuck going on a treadmill.
yeah.
Um, but it's just the fact that I don't have to like worry about times of racing people
Hmm.
that I really just enjoy because I can just do whatever.
Yeah.
I can just go in here and I can just swim.
Hmm.
And that's what I like about it.
Yeah. Yeah. Is there any part of just kind of being out in nature or anything that you appreciate?
Yeah, yeah, it's beautiful. Um, Now if there's like really large creatures, I'm like, cool, but I want to keep a little bit of distance from it. Like swimming with the whales, I'm like, okay, that's really cool, but I don't want to get up close to a whale because one flick of that fin and I'm dead because they're just so big. Same with the sharks. Like I wanted to go shark diving while we were here. We couldn't find a way to get it into our schedule. But I'm like, I know they're going to be around, and even if I don't see them, I know they're going to be around. But I'm like, I love the sharks. I think they're really cool creatures. Um, I love hammerheads. I think they're cute. But I'm like, I want to swim with the sharks. Um, but do I want to like swim with the sharks? No. But I want to go shark diving
Mm.
where I'm in a more controlled environment
Right.
with people who know what they're doing. Um, and like with the dolphins, it's like they're a lot bigger than people realize.
Hmm.
Like you see them in aquariums, sure, but you're not all up close and personal with them.
Right.
And they're big animals. Like even
Yeah.
the babies,
Yeah.
they're almost as big as you are,
Wow.
much less the adults.
Hmm.
Um, but it's really cool to be with the animals, especially. And I think it's better to keep the distance from them
Mm.
because they're still wild animals. You
Yeah.
never know what they're going to do.
Right. Right.
Um, I got to swim with a couple sea turtles
Oh, and then
though.
Molokai.
Yeah, well, we have a lagoon right
Oh,
outside Gila.
okay.
I'd go there and I'd swim every morning,
Hmm.
like 6:30, like nobody's out. And 2 days ago, there's these two sea turtles that were just swimming by me. And I know it's kind of law here that if you're like by wildlife, you're not allowed to touch it.
Hmm.
You have to keep a certain like distance from it. Um, but the sea turtles just swam right under me. I was like, well, I kind of can't go anywhere, so I'm just gonna let them be. And they just swam off.
Hmm.
But that was really cool. Like, that's the one animal I'm like, okay, if you want to get close to me, go right ahead. But that's probably like the only one.
Yeah.
But,
Mm. What has swimming taught you about
um,
yourself or about life? I don't know.
um, I think it taught me is that like, even though like I hit the mental barriers and the physical ones, I still have a way to get through it. Um, like what this like swimming for 19 and a half hours. Like most people are like, I'm not even awake for 19 and a half hours throughout the
Right.
day. And you're swimming for that long? Um, I think it shows that like you can probably do just about anything
Hmm.
if you just make yourself do it.
Mm-hmm.
So like even though your mind, like your own mind's gonna fight you. Um, it's gonna be your subconscious versus like your actual conscious thought. Like your actual conscious thought is like during that swim is like, I hate everything. I hate you. I hate me. Screw you, fish. Um, but your subconscious is like, well, we're still swimming, aren't we? We haven't stopped. We're not drowning. Our arms are still getting up out of the water. We're just making forward progress. So while consciously, I'm like, I hate the world. Like, I cannot do this. Subconscious, it's realizing that, like, I can because I am. And I think understanding that there's a difference between I can't and I won't.
Good one.
So, like, if I can't, that's because I'm literally like I'm going backwards or my arms are not coming out of the water like I'm in distress. Like kayaker needs to come rescue me. That's I can't.
Mm-hmm.
The I hate everything, I want to stop is an I won't.
Mm.
Like I won't do this anymore. Not that I can't do this anymore because I can. It's that I don't want to and I won't do it anymore.
Wow.
Which I think not a lot of people really can understand the difference between that because the subconscious is not really something you pay attention to.
It's hard to
Um,
hear.
and it's not always something you want to listen to because you're like doing this, you're like everything hurts. My body is like I have jellyfish stings everywhere. I'm sunburnt. I have chafing. My muscles are so sore, my arms can barely move. And consciously, you're aware of that. But subconsciously, like they're like, well, barely moving is still moving. They're like, and somebody goes to tell you that, like if someone comes up to you and you're like, I can't do this because my arms are hardly coming out of the water, and someone tells you, well, hardly still means that they are getting out of the water, you want to look at them and be like, shut up. Like, shut up. That subconscious is that person, like say your coach or something during a practice that's telling you like, well, you're going to do it anyways.
Mm.
And I think that's what people that's especially what I've started to learn, especially during this one at Molokai.
Hmm.
So
Nice. Well, a good one. So you're coming back for, you said back to California, I guess, for now you're already in Hawaii now, but so you're going back for Tahoe. What kind of preparations are you doing to get ready for Tahoe?
I think just about the same what I've always been doing. Because leading up to this one, like I was just doing my own practice. Like everybody else was doing something else, and I was in my own lane. Like I'd get to practice early, I'd pull off the tarps, and I'd hop in and start going with
Well,
my coach there. And like the others were doing their practice, and I was just doing my own thing, like hundreds pace, 200s pace. Oh, we'll just do five hundreds. Um, because I would use these form goggles,
mm,
and they have like a little like a screen in front of you, and
hmm,
it'll show you your pace and your stroke count. Really super fancy goggles, but that's what I'd use.
hmm.
And like one practice, I did a 10K, like I did two 5,000s. And I wanted to stop after my first 5,000, you know, take a feed, I say. Um, and the people next to me were complaining about their practice. My coach noticed that I stopped and they're like, you want to go join her? They're like, yeah. What you doing? Two 5,000s? Never mind. I'm like, oh, come on. I'm just swimming here. Um, but I was just doing my own thing, which I think is probably what I'm gonna do leading up to Tahoe. Because that's during like swim and school break, so I'm not in
Mm,
school.
nice.
The swim season's ended. Um, so like I'll just get up to Tahoe. We'll probably get there the day before,
Hmm.
because we learned that me and altitude
I was
trying to
wondering.
swim does not work very well.
Uh-oh.
Um,
Where did you learn that at?
the last Tahoe swims I did.
Oh,
So
got it,
I
got
was
it. Oh,
planning to
that's right.
just
You
do
said
the
you're coming
width.
up for the Triple Crown. Got it. Okay.
Yeah,
Mhm.
because I had just done the width. I did that like we landed that day, and then started like we met at the boat 2 o'clock that next morning,
Hmm.
and I swam great. And then they're all of a sudden like, "Hey, we just have an opening for the Vikings home.
Hmm.
Want to do that?" I'm like, "Sure." It was not good. The altitude was getting to me, like trying to go up and down stairs was just ugly.
Oh.
Um, so we're gonna get the Tahoe like the day before the swim,
Hmm.
where the altitude won't be affecting me, and then we're just gonna have vacation time in Tahoe. We didn't really get that last time. I might stay in Truckee.
Hmm.
I wanted to go tubing on the river.
Nice.
I'm like, I just want vacation time in Tahoe.
Yeah.
But me, I have like too many breathing problems to count.
Oh, goodness.
Um, Asthma, vocal cord dysfunction. If there's any thought of pollinating, my nose and my throat are going to be so clogged.
Oh my goodness.
And then altitude is just like my lungs are like, what are you doing? So
So you're doing it anyway. Why?
yeah, yeah. So we get there before, like we do the swim before the altitude starts to, because it takes like a day or two for the altitude to finally start affecting you.
Hmm.
Um, so we're just gonna do it like get there the day before, hope the altitude doesn't affect me very
Hmm.
quickly, and just do the length. It should be pretty easy. I mean, like
No
Tahoe's like
currents.
no current. I mean, they have some current in
There is,
Tahoe because
yeah,
of just
yeah.
how deep that water is.
Hmm.
But
Not
that's
like
gonna be
not
like super easy.
you don't
Like
have
I
the
feel like
salt
every
tongue.
swim's yeah. I feel like every swim's gonna be easy now that I've done Molokai. Like easy. Like sure I'll still have jellyfish and swells to deal with, like in the English Channel, but I don't think I'll be swimming for 19 hours. I hope. I hope. Not gonna jinx myself, but
You're well prepared for it if that was the
I'm
case.
well prepared for it. I mean, like my happy place for temperature is mid to upper 50s to low 60s.
Wow.
So I should be fine temperature wise for the English Channel,
What was the temp in Molokai?
like 70 something. It was warm. It was
Was
really
it, did it
warm.
feel hot to you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't uncomfortable hot, but it was still like, I want my cold water back.
There's something about the water when it's kind of refreshing, just kind of like, I don't know. I think my memories of Tahoe are just like really embracing that sensation of just kind of like constantly refreshing and I don't know, trying to
Yeah, because
tell
like your
myself that,
body heats up as you're working out,
yeah,
but if the water's colder, it's like you're not overheating,
right. Yeah.
which is nice.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. So feel like last time we talked, you kind of touched on like kind of having anxiety at one point. So talk to me about how swimming's kind of helped with that, or how you stare that down in the face of starting a swim.
um, I think it's just because I know, like, even if I'm anxious to start the swim, I'm gonna start it anyways.
Mm.
If not, my mom's gonna shove me in the water, but off the
Is that
side
an
of the
agreement
boat.
you have?
She's like, my mom's like, we dropped like $8,200 for you to hop on the water. You're hopping in the water. Go, get out, get off the boat. Um, and I think I've just gotten used to like the anxiety at first is like, okay, I'm actually doing this.
Hmm.
Is it too late to back out now? But I'm gonna feel really bad about myself if I don't hop in. But I was like, it's dark outside, and I'm like, eh. But then this one was like, stared at the water for a couple seconds, and I was like, screw it, and just hopped in. Um, I think it was just knowing the risks of this swim and I was fully prepared to not finish it. Molokai has a 70% fail rate.
Wow.
And I had to go into it knowing that something might happen and I might not be able to finish it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so as much as I didn't want that to happen, I was prepared for it to happen.
Hmm.
So I'm like, I might as well get in the water anyways,
Just see what
because
happens.
one way or another, I'm hopping back out,
Mm-hmm.
whether that be on the beach or because I have to get pulled out of the water.
Yeah.
I'm like, so I might as well just hop in at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Um, there's no point in saying like, because you get like even saying that I tried is better than saying I didn't. So, like, I chickened out last minute. I couldn't hop in the water.
Yeah.
But saying, like, hey, I tried to swim and I had to get pulled sounds a whole lot better than just saying, like, I couldn't even get in the water.
Yeah, yeah, I hear you. It can still feel really tough in that moment, I think. I mean, all you have to do, right, is just get wet, get started. We all know that that kind of fixes a lot of things, is just to start moving. But it can
Hmm.
just be if maybe it's just if you with it too long. I don't know.
Yeah. I was kind of conked out on the boat on the way there. So I guess, like, not having to really think about it,
Yeah,
being like, oh
like
my
go
God, I'm
time.
about to
Yeah.
hop into the water. No, I was just sitting in a little beanbag chair in the boat. I was asleep until the boat, like, tipped way sideways and I slid across the boat. That was kind of funny because like everybody who was asleep was all of a sudden like wide awake. Because my kayakers were in the cabin and they had their little bunks. We slid over because the tilt, and all of a sudden they're like on their feet. Well, most of them were. Two of them were tangled up on the floor
Uh-oh.
because they'd fallen out of their bunks. My mom was almost on the floor and I had slid right into the ladder.
Oh no.
And we were all like, okay, well, I'm awake now. But I think just being able to like shut the brain off, like
Mm.
even if that's just like closing my eyes, stand back, or actually falling asleep,
Hmm.
really helps. Because that's how it was in Catalina. Like we had the boat failure, and I just went below deck and I was out. Um,
Nice.
and then I came over there, hopped into the water, and I was like, it was super easy. Now, swimming through the kelp fields was
In
it
Catalina.
gave jaw. Well, like we were on the boat, it's a full moon, it's
Mm.
rocking, and I'm like, I have huge Jaws vibes right now on Catalina. And it wasn't just me, like everybody's like, I'm waiting for a great white to like jump on the boat. It just was it seriously gave Jaws vibes.
Hmm.
And then I had to swim through the kelp field. I'm like, oh great, now it's the opening of Jaws. Um, But no, actually, my start for Catalina was a lot more funny because I was climbing out. I had some kelp stuck to me, covered in Desitin.
Yeah.
There's a spotlight on me. I have a very narrow beach, and I hop out of the water, and there's a couple of teenage boys on the beach staring at me like, what in the? Because there was a Boy Scouts cabin at the start. So you know they're all up, like roasting marshmallows, and there's this giant boat coming around, shining a spotlight
Yeah.
on the beach, and they're probably like, "That's weird. Are they
Yeah.
looking for something?" And then all of a sudden, this person covered in Desitin and
White
kelp
and kelp.
climbs out of the water. They looked horrified. They were staring at me like wide-eyed, jaws like touched the floor. One of them literally looked like one of them just turned around, said nope, and walked away. Um, and I'm like, that cracks me up for the most of my swim.
Yeah.
That made popping into the water worth it.
Yeah. That's pretty funny. I love that idea. Just crashing the Boy Scout camp.
I'm like, this is a great way to start the swim. Like,
Yeah.
scare the crap out of a bunch of teenage boys, like a little sea monster walking out of the water. 'Cause, it's almost midnight,
Mhm.
pitch black minus the full moon, and there's just somebody walking on shore in a swimsuit and a cap, completely white. Um, looking partially like Casper the Ghost, covered in kelp, and like that's like nightmare fuel right there.
Yeah. Did you say hi?
I would just went, I gave him a small little wave. It's like, hi. And that's when like one of the boys just turned around and was like, nope, I'm going to bed.
That's pretty funny. Very
But yeah, nothing
cool.
like that on Molokai.
Yeah.
It's very lonely on the beach.
Yeah.
But
What do you, when you think back on your journey, because were you 12 or 13? 5 years ago. I guess you would have been 12. Is that right? You're 17? Help me with my math.
16.
16. Oh my gosh.
So I started the small open water stuff when I was about 11, 12.
Yeah. I think of when your mom
Because it
reached
was
out to
right when
me.
COVID hit. So I just
Yeah.
turned 11.
Wow.
And my mom got sick of me and threw me in the lake. It's like, swim, swim, God damn it. Um,
When you look back
but
and
I
think
think
about that for this last 5 years, I mean, I don't
I
know. What do you
think
think when you
my
think of,
11 or 12-year-old self would look at me and be like, what is wrong with you?
oh, come
Why?
on.
Why? Because at 12, I'm like, the longest I swam was a 10K. That
Yeah.
took me 3.5 hours. And I was like, I never want to do that again.
Mm.
And I just swam 19 and a half hours with my 10K taking 6 hours. And I was like, do I want to do that again? No, and it sucked. But
I think your
like
12-year-old
comparing,
self would
like,
be really proud of what you've accomplished.
yeah, I think my 12-year-old self would be like, I just did what?
Yeah.
Why did I do that? But I just did what now?
Hmm.
It's like I cannot run a marathon to save my life, but swimming one, I can swim one just fine.
Hmm.
You won't catch me running one
Yeah.
or walking one. You
Right.
might catch me biking a marathon, but that's about it.
Yeah. Very cool. Well, I look forward to hearing about all your future swims. It seems like there'll be quite a few. Are we on the Ocean 7 track? You've got Molokai under your belt. Yeah.
No, I'm not interested in Ocean 7.
Okay.
Um, I'm interested in doing swims that very few
Mm.
people have done.
Hmm.
So while I'm in Europe for English Channel, like after that one, I want to do like some small little swims in the different countries. Like we're looking at one in Italy. Like it's
Cool.
Italy.
Hmm.
Um, like I want to do Loch Ness. Um, I want to do Lake Titicaca.
Mm. Let me know when you
Um,
go. I want to do that one too.
yeah,
Even with the
like
altitude
the
issues, huh?
swims that like very few people have done.
Hmm.
Um, and just be like, that's the one I want to do. Or be like the first person to do a swim somewhere.
Mm. Yeah.
Because like I don't want to do the Ocean 7. And I'm not interested in it. Like, sure, swimming in New Zealand and Japan sounds pretty cool, but like everybody's doing it now. And it's
Right.
not really like something I'm looking like I don't want to do the Ocean 7.
Mm. Hmm.
Like it's just I'm not interested in it.
Yeah.
I want to do swims that are more unique. Like Loch Ness, I heard was a pretty challenging swim. Which I won't be doing the same time I do the English Channel. We're gonna do that completely different time. Um, but I just want to go around the world and do these swims that very few people have done, like almost no one's heard of, because I think they're really cool. Like very few people have gone here. I want to be one of those few people that went to there and did these swims and have that partially unique experience.
Yeah.
So,
Very cool. Well, I look forward to hearing about all of the unique swims that you get up to. Because there's no
yeah.
sense standing in line to swim, but you are doing the English Channel. I guess that one you just got to check off, right?
Mhm. Yeah, that's a must-have. I think the English Channel's a must-have.
Very cool. Well, I look forward to hearing about it. We'll have to connect again next year.
Yeah,
Awesome. Thank you, Lorelei. I appreciate your time. Good luck in your
thank you.
recovery.
Thank you.
I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you were inspired by even just a moment of this story, please share it with a friend. You never know what might push someone out of their comfort zone so that they can find out what they're capable of. And please leave a review with your podcast provider. It truly helps others discover the raw and honest stories of these amazing endurance swimmers. Thanks for listening.